It's Friday, August 9th, right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Bianca Bono in Tolleson, where a school governing board held an emergency meeting to potentially fire its superintendent. Tonight, the superintendent alleges it's retaliation for a sexual harassment claim.
Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz visit the Valley to make their pitch to Arizona voters.
Temperatures rising above 110 again this weekend, but I'm also tracking lower storm chances across the state.
I'm Chase Gawiley in Phoenix, where an apartment complex at the center of a lawsuit filed by the Attorney General's office for not having air conditioning was in court today. What the judge had to say, we'll show you coming up.
12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
Good evening. A dramatic night at the Tolleson High School District with the superintendent on the verge of losing his job. His supporters packing an emergency meeting, waiting for hours as the governing board met in private to determine his future. But that's just part of the story. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Caribe Divine. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono was at the meeting, and she's joining us live in Tolleson with the details. Bianca.
Mark Caribe, the superintendent, tells me this all started because he rejected advances made by the school board president. He filed a sexual harassment complaint against her last week, and just yesterday he found out his job is on the line. Tolleson Union High School Superintendent Jeremy Calles watching and waiting while the district governing board determines his future.
I've been with this district since 2017. I came in as the chief financial officer.
On Thursday, the board announcing it would hold an emergency meeting Friday afternoon. The only action item, consideration of Calles' job.
What I got was, we're going to talk about your contract tomorrow.
Calles says to understand how he got here, you have to go back to December.
Men, too, can be sexually harassed.
He says that's when the governing board president, Dr. Elda Luna Nahara, who was also appointed to fill an open Arizona House seat earlier this year, made unwanted advances towards him. He says that inappropriate behavior continued until April.
I made it clear that the intentions were unwelcomed, and I have since then come under retaliation.
Last week, after consulting with his wife, Calles filed a complaint against Luna Nahara.
She stands by me. But she knew I needed to do this.
On Friday, the board going into executive session, discussing the superintendent in private, while supporters of his packed into the room.
I just felt terrible for him. I felt terrible for him and his family.
Jordan Williams is a district employee.
It was, murmurings all around the district, but everyone was on the same page of we got to get behind Jeremy.
Ultimately, the board coming out and adjourning the meeting, meaning Calles' job is safe for now. We approached Luna Nahara after the meeting in an effort to get her side of the story. She quickly exited, slamming the door behind her. Calles is now calling on her to resign.
And I can stand in front of all these lights and these cameras, and I'll tell you exactly how it is. And she's running out that door.
And Calles may have survived tonight's emergency meeting, but there's another regularly scheduled meeting coming up on Tuesday. He's not sure if the board will again try to vote him out. We're live in Tolleson tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thank you for that. Now to Decision 2024, the Harris-Walz Democratic presidential ticket making its first stop in the Valley as part of a blitz of 7 states in 5 days.
Earlier this afternoon, they made their pitch to a packed crowd at Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale. 12 News journalist Jonathan McCall has a recap of her rally.
With less than 90 days to go until November's election, on Friday, more than 15,000 folks, enthused, energetic, and fired up, flocking to Desert Diamond Arena to see the new Democratic presidential ticket sell their message to Arizona voters.
Goodness, oh, it's good to be back in Arizona. Good evening, everyone.
Friday marking the 7th trip to Arizona for Vice President Kamala Harris since taking office, her first since becoming the Democratic presidential nominee.
So Arizona, ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom.
The vice president laying out her plan to Arizona voters if elected as America's first woman president in November. During her speech, she touted her experience as California Attorney General to take on drug cartels, price gouging that led to inflation, and more. If elected, she said she would sign immigration bills that would restore reproductive rights and also tackle gun violence.
And we who believe in the freedom to live safe from gun violence will finally pass an assault weapons ban.
Among the 15,000 in the stands, millennial voters who say they're excited about the energy the campaign has brought, but their concerns shouldn't be overlooked.
Relieve homelessness. That's the biggest thing to me. I think that's something that I want to see a change in, but a physical change, not just talk about cleaning up homelessness, helping people find housing. That's a big thing as well.
Many say it's the danger of freedoms being lost that will drive them to the ballot box this November.
The things that they support in terms of freedom and access for women and people in our communities.
One person impressed with the vice president, saying he was looking for her to step out of President Biden's shadow.
I was satisfied. I'm still definitely looking to hear more and really see her expand more on her own points in the drive. And I went to see Tim for the first time as well.
With the Arizona rally now over, this battleground blitz for the Harris-Walz campaign now moves to Nevada. In Glendale, Jonathan McCall, 12 News.
Jonathan, thanks. In about 10 minutes, we'll continue our coverage of Vice President Harris's speech in Glendale. 12 News journalist William Pitts is fact-checking her claims about former President Trump.
Now to our weather impact forecast and a warm-up that's headed our way this weekend. Meteorologist Lindsay Riley is here now with what we can expect.
And even though we're going to see highs above 110 degrees, luckily we are not setting any records and we do not have any excessive heat warnings. Nonetheless, good weekend for the pools, virtually going to be storm-free in the valley. But our morning low tomorrow, 91, daytime high, 111. Few scattered clouds in the afternoon. Then on Sunday, mostly sunny. Temperature drops a little bit on Monday down to 106, but we will have rising storm chances early next week. Here's our monsoon meter for tomorrow. We still will have a few thunderstorms up in northern Arizona and southeastern Arizona. It will be a little bit more spotty, lower coverage compared to what we have been seeing this week. But it's going to be extremely tough to get any of those cells into the valley. So just a 1 for a stray shower. Most of us will be staying dry, not just tomorrow, but for this weekend, and temperatures hovering around 110. Mark?
Lindsay, thanks. Representatives for the Phoenix apartment complex accused of leaving dozens of residents without air conditioning for months were in court today. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly continues to follow this story. And Chase, I hear there was some tension between the attorneys and the judge in this case.
Mark, that's because the defense and prosecution were giving contradicting evidence to the judge on just how hot these apartments are.
Counter evidence
in an air-conditioned courtroom in Phoenix, a battle over tenants not having AC at the Buenos on 32nd apartment complex near Grand Avenue and Indian School.
No one wants anyone to get sick. No one wants anyone to die.
An apartment complex the Attorney General just filed a lawsuit against. State prosecutors claim 2 people living here have already been sent to the hospital for heat-related illnesses, with AC units not working and getting hotter than 82 degrees, which goes against city code. On Thursday, the judge ordered prosecutors and the attorneys representing the apartment complex to go inside the units and measure the temperatures themselves. They went into 5 of them and ran those tests. The problem is, they both got different answers. Denise Holliday with the defense says one woman was well below the limit.
Her own words are, "It is too cold in here."
But the state says that's not what they saw.
The state has evidence that it exceeds the 82.0 threshold at 82.3 and 82.9. So that would mean a violation.
That was also the case with the 4 other units.
I never imagined yesterday that I would send you out for tests and I would come back with 2 different results.
So the judge ordered that both sides go at the same time Friday to run these same tests again. And if the AC unit is hotter than 82 degrees,
and everyone agrees it doesn't work or malfunctions or causes problems, that person gets alternative accommodation at the landlord's expense,
meaning hotel stay. The judge also ordered that if any resident refuses to have their AC system checked, they don't get those accommodations. Now, at this time, we don't know what the results of those tests were. We are waiting for official comment from the Attorney General's office. We'll be sure to bring you the latest update as we get that information. For now, we're live in the studio. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. We have some new details tonight in the Preston Lord murder case. Today, the Maricopa County Medical Examiner released its autopsy report on Lord. We've learned that Lord sustained multiple blunt force injuries consistent with previous reports. The office also said that there were no significant findings in the toxicology report. The 7 suspects charged with his murder are currently awaiting trial. Tonight, the city of Goodyear has a new police chief. After a nationwide search, Brian Issett has been chosen to take the position. Issett retired as a commander with the Phoenix Police Department in 2023 after serving 22 years overseeing multiple units during his tenure. He was also the commander of Phoenix's Desert Horizon precinct when Officer Tyler Moldovan was shot 8 times back in 2021. Moldovan survived the attack, and Issett later presented him with his official police badge at Chase Field.